Welcome in, welcome in. It's Mindy with the Pink Llama. Let's see if we can get some light fixed here a little bit. I want more on my project than on me. Good evening. How is everybody tonight? Thank you so much for being here. If you're seeing this portion, it's most likely the replay. So hashtag replay. This is an affiliate spotlight segment on Miss Christina's page. I'm very grateful to be here. Okay, where am I? It doesn't want to pull up. Hope y'all are having a good weekend. Good evening, Andrews. Good evening, good evening. Here I am. There. How are you tonight? Thank you for being here. I'm just getting myself shared over. Hello, Sue. Good evening. How are you? Okay, we're good. We're good. Hello, Donna. Good evening. How are you tonight? Thank y'all so much for being here and joining me on this. Well, here it's a dreary, rainy, kind of blah Saturday. I hope you guys are having a good weekend, though. And you're not having the nasty weather we are. We need the rain, but it's just been a day. And I'm still not feeling that great, so, you know. Good evening, Miss Linda. Well, Miss Sue, I have been better. And honestly, I probably should just be in bed right now. But I really wanted to come hang out with all my friends. So, but I'll be okay. I'm all just, you know, puffy and just, but I'll be okay. Could be so much worse. Good evening, Miss Brenda. All right, y'all, we are going to go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep y'all all night long. I know it's Saturday and on the weekends, I'm a homebody. I love being home in my comfy clothes. That's why I've got my oversized sweatshirt on and just being comfy. But please forgive my puffy appearance. I know I look terrible, but I have not been feeling that great. But I will be fine. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and joining me. I'm Mindy with the Pink Llama, and this is my affiliate spotlight on Miss Christina's page. Good evening, Miss Christina. There she is. And I'm very grateful to her for allowing me to do this. So we're going to get through it. Luckily, I have my voice. I just look terrible. And anyway, but we are doing this beautiful guy. I've had him for a little bit, and I've been wanting to do him. And he is the Old World Santa. There are so many different things you could do with him. Oh my goodness, he's gorgeous. So this is what we're going to work on tonight. We're going to play with some textures because y'all know I love my texture. We're not using paper tonight though. It's just going to be some paint and some sand and some glue and some other fun stuff. So I think I'm going to start with what I'm going to texture, because that's going to kind of need to sit and dry. So I'm just going to pull off, I think I do want that textured. All right, I pulled off his little hood, and I made him one of these little things. You know, I've been trying to find one just to purchase, but I can't find anything that I like, so I'll just make my own. But I'm pulling off like all of the trim from his clothes. That's what I've pulled off. And that's what we are going to texture. And I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that. All right. So I had found this stuff a while ago, and it was like a texture medium. You can't find it anymore. Hello, Sheila. How are you? Anyway, you cannot find this texture medium anymore. They don't make it. I looked on the company's website. I searched everything. You can't find it. So, and I knew it had sand in it just by the texture of it. So you can find this, and it's Rolodex, and it's sand. And it's just a texture additive for paint. And it's a very fine gray colored sand. So if you are wanting to use this on, you know, something you want pretty stark white, I wouldn't use it because it does have a gray tint to it. But it is pretty fine. And it works amazing. So what I've done in my little, this is my little texture bowl. My little texture bowl, I've added some sand, and I don't even look at the directions. I just add it to whatever color of paint. But I have 2 different colors of paint. Sorry if you hear me breathing hard. I'm still trying to catch my breath. This being sick business. So I used a little bit of Cozy Beige and Italian Ivory. So I used the Paint Couture, Cozy Beige and Italian Ivory because I kind of wanted a color in between them. I wanted a little bit creamier than the Italian Ivory, but not quite as dark as the Cozy Beige, even though it's not that dark. And I am going to be using the Cozy Beige itself. So I mix those 2 in here. And there may have been a little bit of leftover paint from another project, but I couldn't tell you what I used. So I just added that sand, and I wanted it pretty thick. And it will dry pretty fast because the paint dries fast. The sand doesn't prevent it from drying at all. And this is just one of those round brushes that I never use for anything but stuff like this. This is amazing stuff. So I hope I can do this because, you know, I don't like to paint the sides of my pieces. So we'll see if we can do this with a brush without making a mess. No, we're not. Have y'all seen this? So this is a little nail art tool. And you get this on Amazon, and they are little square makeup spongy things. This was intended for nail art, and these things are so cheap. But this is, I saw somebody using this who I don't remember. But it's just a little sponge, a little square sponge, and you could probably buy the sponges and cut them on your own. But honestly, you get them super, super cheap on Amazon. And it's just like a little claw thing. And maybe y'all have seen this long before I had, but I had never seen this. And I saw someone using them. And I was like, getting now, and I ordered them instantly. And I ordered a thing of extra sponges. Because this way, it's use it and don't feel bad about throwing a whole bunch of wasted away. So I'm going to try this. You're listening in on your drive home. Well, thank you for being here, Roger. I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Isn't it really cool, Miss Christina? I thought it was really cool. So I'm going to just be dipping back and forth, and I'm going to stipple this on because I want it pretty textured. Now, I don't want it so thick that it's not going to dry. And if I get some on the sides, it's fine. I'll just sand it. It's not that big of a deal. But I think this little thing would work great. Well, this is my first time using it, to be honest with you. And my honest opinion is I absolutely love it. I feel like I have a little bit more control. And you're not throwing so much sponge away or cutting your sponges or whatever. Oh, I love that. Okay, this thing is pretty dang cool. And I don't think I paid more than $5 or $6 for this little thing and some sponges. And then the extra sponges weren't even much more. But I use, there's my Jamie girl. Hey, Jamie, thank you for sprinkling. I hope you're feeling better, sweet girl. I don't know why we're all getting sick. I know Miss Robin had been sick. I've been sick. You've been sick. Who else has been sick? Prayers to everybody who's been under the weather. I hope y'all get feeling better. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, lordy, lordy, Lou. But look at that, y'all. Look at that texture on there. Can you see it? You can. Look how great that is. I love it. I love it. I love it. This sand is amazing because you just add it to whatever the heck you want. And we will be dirtying this up because I want this Santa to look pretty rugged. I was very tempted to crackle, but I didn't want to way overdo all the different textures because sometimes it gets too much. Can you have too much texture? I don't know. So what's everybody been doing this week? This weekend? I hope it's been great. You want to know what I've done today? I've showered, taken care of my animals, and lounged on the couch and slept on and off all day. And that isn't very, very unlikely or unlike me. Hi, Miss Elaine. How are you, my sweet friend? Are you getting rain? Oh, good. I'm glad you're doing a little bit better. Yeah, I've got some crud too. And, you know, I'm just glad I still have my voice. I really haven't had the cough so bad. And on occasion, my voice just kind of crackles a little bit. But it's been like my sinuses and my head and my neck. And then I feel like I just can't catch my breath. It's very strange. Even just sitting here in my comfy loungy clothes, my oversized sweatshirt, I feel like I'm having to take deep breaths. It's just the weirdest thing. But anyway, I'm glad you're better, Miss Jamie. I hope Miss Robin's better and anyone else who's been ill is better. I hate it. I hate this time of year just for that simple fact that the sickness has come around. It's no fun. So I've literally done not much at all today. My sweet dogs have been so patient with me. And for those of you, I haven't been on here since I got my new puppy. I'm sure most of y'all have heard though, because we've been talking about it everywhere, about my new little puppy Milo, a new little corgi my hubby got me for my birthday. He's amazing. He's got a blue eye and a brown eye, and he is so smart. So smart. He's such a good guy. Good little guy. Okay, look at this texture. Look at it. I'm loving it so much. These little sponges are doing amazing. We're almost done with the texture part. So I'm going to do this hooded part, and then we're going to start working on some of the face and stuff like that. I think the next thing we'll work on is his coat. Yeah, his coat. Okay. Getting this on here. my husband he works out of town quite a bit, and he has been traveling, like traveling pretty much all across the Midwest lately, this past week. He's been from here to Oklahoma, to Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee. Is there hauling stuff for some kind of job or something? So he's been telling me all about, oh, I've got this little thing to do too. He's been telling me all about the beautiful country. So I've been to some of those states, but not all of them. And, you know, he's been telling me about it and how different, you know, go a couple 100 miles and the scenery and everything is just so different. So this little piece is like the front part of his jacket. It does have a little score line down the center of it. I am not going to worry about that being seen. You can if you want, but because of this I can't talk. Because of this texture, hi Judy, how are you? Because of this texture that I'm using, I just don't think I don't know, we'll see. I may use my little tool and make it visible, but I don't think we need to for what I'm doing. We'll see. Because y'all have seen me use the little pointy tool from Dollar Tree on those spots, and we will probably be using it on some of the other parts. But this is pretty awesome. This little tool, definitely. It's a must-have. Well, it's not a must, but it's pretty awesome. I really like it. All right, look at all this beautiful texture. I'm gonna just go back and touch up a few spots around the edges here and there because I wanted it to be really full. And then we're gonna move on. I'm not gonna hold you all night, I promise. I know I can be kind of a slow crafter because I don't talk and craft well at the same time. I can craft fast if I don't talk. A couple weekends ago, I had a little fall market that I was a vendor at, and oh my goodness, it was my first one I've done in a long, long time. It was so much fun. We did so well. The weather hung out really well until we were done. So it is raining pretty good here right now. So if my lights flicker, just ignore them. Power is gonna stay on. So this little sponge, I'm just gonna drop it right here in my paint in case we need that again. And then I'm gonna stick my lid. I just keep this in this texture stuff in a little Tupperware. All right. Let's move on, Set those aside, I think. So I'm not gonna do this part. This is the back part of him. He comes doubled up, look at that. So he's like a 1/2 inch thick of amazing birchwood. Look at that, amazing. I don't do my sides. I'll occasionally do my back, but I like the raw edge on these types of projects. So this is where, because I want him to be like a reddish brown color or a red color. Either way, some type of red, I can wax him and get the brown. Here's where I'm hung up. I don't know whether to do the barn door and just wax it really good, Or I've got mulberry, which is kind of almost like a red, brown, purpley. It's not really purple, it's like a red, brown. So tell me, just barn door or mulberry, or just say regular or dark. I need y'all's opinion on his coat. Should we do him this mulberry color, or should we do him red? Mulberry or red? I want your opinion. Yes. The raw edge. Letha. Is it Lethia or Letha? Letha, right? I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. Yeah, I like the raw edges. It just, something about it makes it, I just love it. Try mulberry. You got it. Let's try mulberry. All right, I'm gonna shake her up. This one's a newer one that I recently ordered. I'm trying to acquire them all. I will eventually have them all. I just order, you know, every time I order kits and stuff, I just order a few here and there. They're not expensive at all, but they are amazing paints. I really have enjoyed the Paint Couture. Well, this is my first time using it. Letha. Okay, I'm sorry, Letha. I'm terrible at names. Thank you. Hopefully I'm not the only one that's butchered it, but I will try to remember. It depends on the other colors. Well, we're using, it's mostly going to be more of a, oh, this is going to be perfect, y'all. This is the color I had envisioned in my head. He's going to be more of a rustic Santa. So he's going to have more of like the off-white colors. And in his beard, we're even going to put gray. We're going to use some browns. And, you know, he's going to be more of like the neutral side of the Santa. Oh, my word. This mulberry is beautiful. Y'all have got to add this to your stash if you don't have it already. This is not purple at all. For some reason you hear mulberry, and I don't know why. When I hear mulberry, I think purple, but it's more of like a burgundy, like not even a burgundy, it's a red brown, like a, almost like a brick color. How would you describe this color? It's beautiful. This is exactly what I had in mind for, there's the thunder. This is exactly what I had in mind for his coat. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Yes, Jamie, you definitely need to add this one to your arsenal. I know you've got tons of paints too, so I'm not going to worry about going over where his beard goes. If I go over that line, it doesn't matter, because we've got stuff to go over the top. Oh, I'm so excited about this mulberry. So it's a good mix between a red and a brown. Let me get this on here, and then I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see it closer. You've probably already seen it. Okay. Let me get it on. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a second coat or not, because I am going to wax. We will see. We will see. All right, look at that color. Isn't that a beautiful color? So here's the barn door. They're doing that, you can see it's a good mix between red and a brown. It's so pretty. I love it. Love, 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 love. Okay. I just want to make sure I don't have any streaks. I did put that on there pretty quick or pretty fast. Okay. I'm going to set that aside to dry. And we are going to work on his little face real quick. I should have pulled my hair back. That's why I usually have my hair pulled back. Because I get pain in it. This is Paint Couture, Miss Pamela. It is on the website. All right. I need to do a little marking here. Maybe. How do I want to do this? Because I want to give him like a flesh tone, you know, but I don't want his whole face to be white. I'm gonna get my little pencil out here. And we're gonna do some experimenting. So I'm gonna just very lightly with my pencil mark where his little beard goes to, or his little mustache. And then I'm gonna mark the bottom too. And I'm just doing it pretty light. So I did that because I want to give him a face, like, you know, flesh color skin. And I think, but he's also, you know, going to have the beard and stuff. So I think we're just going to do that. Let me show you what I did. So we're going to make him a little face. This is not necessary at all. I need to find one of my little bitty brushes, and I've got some really good little detail brushes. Let's use this one, and I think I'm going to use the Cozy Beige for his skin tone. And I am just going to paint right over his little, well, I'm going to try my best not to paint his eyes, but we are going to use just a little paint pen, and it's fine if I go over his eyes. I'm just going to, and his same with his eyebrows. I'm just going to get a little flesh color on there. And I'm not worried whatsoever about it being perfect, because we're going to go back through with a gray color in a minute for his beard, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with the beard. All right. We're first, for his beard, we are first going to paint a gray color. Come on. paint doesn't want to get on there. It's because I'm trying to be too careful, and I don't need to be super careful at this point. I don't know why I even worried about it, to be honest. Okay. I've got just a little bit of this cozy beige. That's going to be my flesh color. I may give him some cheeks, I don't know. But I want him very neutral. Now, I'm going to take this, not that one, we're going to take this Gustave, and it's like a very light gray color. I need to put my paint on my or my lid on my mulberry. You got Walmart delivered to you. I haven't had Walmart delivery in a while. It's because it's just like 2 minutes up the road. It's not very far up the road. And seems like I live at Walmart all the time. Maybe I need to start ordering, and then I won't spend as much money. All right, I'm going to take this light gray. It's like a gray-white color. So you can see the difference in my white sponge and the gray, how light of a gray it is. And I'm going to put that on my beard. And I'll put it on the mustache as well. And I'm only going to do one coat because this is going to be more like we're going to whitewash the other color over top. So this is just like the background color. It doesn't need to be full coverage. And then we may take just a little bit of a darker gray and highlight around. Here and there. All right. Let's see how good these little sponges will do at tight spaces. You know, doing detail. I'm just doing around his face. So far, so good. Except for right there, which is all right. Okay. Sorry, I'm concentrating on his little face I got going on here. My goodness, it's coming down. Can y'all hear that? Probably not. All right. Let me just get this little spot right here. And then we're going to move on. Let it dry and then we'll come back to that. All right, let's do his little mustache. Ooh, I got a lot of paint on my sponge. I should be dipping out of my lid and offloading. I'm really not doing my usual with my painting tonight, y'all. I apologize. So I didn't see if anyone said they're doing anything fun. I'm sure there's lots of trunk or treats going on. I've been really slow at getting my Halloween candy this year. In the neighborhood I live in, oh my goodness, we get tons and tons of trick-or-treaters. They come in by the trailerfuls. I'm not even kidding. They pull them on like flatbed trailers. And we get swarms and swarms of kids. And this year I didn't buy, I bought a lot of candy. I bought like almost $80 worth of candy. And that's probably not even going to be enough. I'm probably going to have to go buy more. I have like 5 or 6 big bags of candy in there. Okay, we got his nose with the beige color. We got his mustache. Anyway, yeah, I just went and bought a bunch of the candy because around here the candy runs out and then you can't get any and then you end up getting the crappy candy. And I don't want to be, you know, one of those houses that gives the terrible candy. I remember when we were kids, we knew the houses that had the good candy and the houses that didn't. And I really enjoy the kids coming. This is one of my fancier brushes. And my fancy brushes, I always wash them out like pretty much right away and put them back. My other brushes don't get that same treatment and it's terrible. I really, really should take better care of my other brushes. All right, now let's get our farmhouse linen. I'm going to use the same sponge as I put the gray on with. And I'm just going to put this over top of the gray. And then once it's dry, I'm going to lightly sand it. And then we may add some little flecks here and there. Now, when you do your beards, try this. I'm not kidding. I was watching let me try to remember Crafty Servings. I was watching Crafty Servings. She was painting a Santa Claus. And she started by painting the beard gray. And I was like, interesting. He's going to have a gray beard, but that's okay. No judgment. No judgment at all. Anyway, I continued to watch, and then she added white over top. And she didn't even sand it or anything, but the look that doing that gray first and then the white over top was incredible. So I was pretty impressed. Now, in my beard, on purpose, I'm kind of making it a little bit streaky. Even though I'm going to go through and sand, and you may not see all this, I am trying to make it just a little bit streaky. And I'm just doing that with kind of the edge of my sponge here. There's the lightning again. Because I do want his beard to have just a little bit of texture. And we will probably distress him just a little bit more than usual. But these little sponges work pretty good for getting around in little detail places. I say that and then I just mess up, but that's okay. I've got to fix right here. And I'm not trying to make where I'm doing this white around his flesh tone. I'm not trying to make it like a perfect circle by any means. I don't want it to look perfect. I want it to kind of look like he's got, you know, some hair out of place here and there. I'll show you. So under the nose, don't look at under the nose part, just look at the above the eyes. And when it's done, I'll show y'all. All right, let me add just a little bit more here and there. And I am, again, trying to make it kind of streaky, but not crazy over the top. All right, now I'm gonna do his mustache. And then, what else? We just have a couple more things. I think we're gonna go, right now, we're gonna go back to we're gonna go back and give his jacket another coat of paint. I think it just needs one more. And then we're gonna stain these and stain these, and then these are gonna be just a dark brown. And then we're gonna use espresso. His gloves may be black. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. And this color again is mulberry. And I'm sure some of y'all are doubting me on this color choice for his cloak or coat or whatever Santa Claus, the old world Santa calls their winter attire. I don't know. I used to collect the old Santas, but now my daughter has them, I think, because when I moved to Texas, I didn't bring them with me, and my mom ended up with them. And then last time I was at my mom's, my daughter and her boyfriend were talking about the older Santas, and my mom's like, oh, I've got your mom's, talking to my daughter. She's like, you want them? And she went out to her little, she has a holiday room out in one of her garages. She went out and got them and gave them to my daughter, which I was very happy about. They're getting passed down because my daughter was telling her boyfriend about how I used to have the Santa statues, the older style Santa statues around my home. And that's something she remembered from her childhood. And now she's going to have them in her house, which is exciting. I love that things that oh gosh, Mindy. I love that I made such an impression on my kids. I'm sure good and bad, but you know, things that I was doing for them actually, you know, left that impression. All right, that is the only coat that is going to need, and I am going to sand it just a little bit. Okay, now let's do, so part of me really wanted to do this like gold, but that's really not the color that I'm going for. So I think I'm just going to stain this, and these also go on the front of his jacket. His nose. And then I think his little gloves we're going to do black. So I'm going to get a little baby wipe here, and I'm going to shape my espresso. And this is such a beautiful dark brown color. I love it. If anybody has any suggestions on what I should do different or what you want to see, please tell me. Please, please, please. All right. I think I am going to stain. I don't know. I'm debating on whether I should stain the bottom part of this little staff or cane. I think I'm going to, just to be safe. Whoa, I got way too much paint, so it's getting stained anyway. So because this is stained, I don't want to stain his gloves. I do think his gloves I'm doing black. Now, this part really isn't going to be seen, but I stained it just in case any little edges are seen. And we will use some wax on it as well. You don't have to use wax. You can use ink or paint or whatever. And I still could rub a little bit of gold on here if I wanted to. We'll see. Once we start getting together, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, y'all. I'm sorry. Once we start getting it together, I'll know. And then I almost tortured y'all. I almost did. I really wanted to go through and color in all of these little diamond shapes on this and do like an actual little pattern. I almost did that to y'all, but then I'm like, no. That's like something you do when you're bored sitting on the couch coloring those in. You don't do that on a live, especially on a Saturday evening. Look how pretty this wood stains up though. So impressive. Oh, Jamie, you love espresso. You need espresso and mulberry. They're good. I've used a lot of this espresso. It's one of my favorites. All right, now pitch black. Pitch black on the gloves. And I've definitely used this before. I don't know why that's still on there. Well, that's the paint we're going to use. Lordy Lou, y'all. I'm just making all kinds of a mess. So I, being sick and sleeping off and on the couch quite a bit, I have been watching this series called The Gilded Age, and it's on HBO Max. And it's, from like back in the horse and buggy day, like when you know, electricity came on for the first time, things like that. So like way back, and it's based in New York, and how society used to be back then. Oh my gosh, Pitch Black is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think I'm going to use my little sticker board here. I'm painting the right side. I think so. If not, we'll go back. I'm going to use my little sticker board and get one of my little sponges. I love that I can just grab it like a little claw. This is so fun. This Pitch Black is such a rich, beautiful black. Y'all, I'm not just telling you that this paint is good paint because I'm an affiliate. I don't do that. Like, I really have to like something. I really, really do like this paint. It's good paint. And the best part is that you can get samples of it on the website. Okay, let's see if we need to break out our dryer, because I think we've got everything all painted up. I'm just gonna go over these gloves one more time, just a little bit thicker of a coat on them. Because I brushed most of it off. That's my problem when I use the sponges, is I end up brushing off most of the paint and then needing to do another coat, when if I had done it with a brush it wouldn't need it. But I love the look that the sponge gives on these kids as opposed to the brush. Alright, now look at that. Now that that's dry, look at that texture. Okay. Let me not waste my paint here. Oh Lord. Mindy, man, you're making a mess. I really don't want to waste that paint because I know I will use it. And I just made a mess anyway. Alright. Before I start grabbing all my stuff, I need to clean off my thinners so I don't get black on my white and white on my black. And I'm always such a messy painter. Such a messy, messy painter. Okay. Let's start putting this together. Let me plug it in. Let me plug it in. Okay. I'm gonna start by, okay, loud noise alert. I hope it's not too loud if you've got your AirPods in. Thank you, Miss Jamie. If you've got your AirPods in, please. I'm gonna be using my dryer real quick. Okay. Doesn't need too much drying. This dries really fast. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to kind of dry my other stuff at the same time. This drying tool I'm using, it dries things really fast. And the paint dries really fast in itself. Ooh, that thunder. My poor dog, Tank. I don't know how the puppy does with thunder and lightning yet. We've had rain, but we haven't really had like the thunder and stuff, so I don't know how the puppy does. I think he's probably fine. I haven't heard him. But Tank, I've heard my older dog, well, he's not old, but he's 2. My adult corgi, I've heard him in there whining. He is terrified of the thunder and lightning. In fact, when it rains, he won't even go outside. He will not use the bathroom in the house either. So he will hold it all dang day. I'm not even kidding. He hates the rain. He hates the thunder. He hates the lightning. He hates fireworks. He hates it all. In fact, on the 4th of July, I was so grateful that my husband was home, because Tank was a mess. It was heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. He had to pretty much just sit in my husband's lap. Okay. Let me... What is that? Alright. If you don't know this trick, you need to clean, see they're dirty. I'm just going to rub them together. And it's clean. So I'm mostly distressing the edges. Anytime you add paint or anything wet to wood, it raises the oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. It raises the little fibers in it. So it makes the little fibers, like the little wood hair, so to say, it makes them swell and stand up. So I'm smoothing those out, and at the same time, it is kind of distressing my edges, which is something that I've wanted. And on this one, I'm going with the grain of my wood. And my edges are getting pretty heavily distressed, but if you didn't want your edges distressed, but you wanted to smooth out your paint, you just go a little bit lighter handed, or use a much finer grit sandpaper. I'm using like a 120. And I'm not worried about it being distressed all the way around. I like it to be, I let the wood talk to me. I let the wood tell me where it wants to be distressed. Okay. I won't be distressing, obviously I won't be distressing where I have all this texture, because it would just bring it right off. Oh goodness, y'all can't even see. I think this is going to be beautiful. I was thinking of maybe adding some, I have some little bitty, whoops, it goes this way. I have some little bitty rusty bells, and I was thinking it might be really cute to add some rusty bells down the front of him. And I'm thinking we might add these in the wrong place. We may add a little bit of greenery. I'm not sure yet. Let's get them together. What song just came to your head, Jamie, when I said let's get them together? All right. I'm just going to go in a down, you know, with the grain of the wood on the beard. And I'm going not super heavy-handed, but not kind of medium-handed. And I'm putting my sanding paper kind of on an angle. It's not flat. And it's kind of helping me make like little hair-like indentions in there. Can y'all see that? No, you can't. Dang it. But in person, you can. And what I'm trying to do is bring out some of that gray from underneath. Just a little bit of it, but we can add some gray in as well. Now I can see it, but I don't think you can. Now I've got it sanded. Let me hold it up. Can y'all see that gray in there? Maybe just a little bit. It looks more kind of like shadowing, I guess. I do think we are going to I still need to put his eyes on and his eyebrows. But now that I have this texture with the red up against that white, you can definitely see the beige color, the lighter beige color I was going with. Let me get, y'all, what piece did I lose? I don't think I did. Okay, we didn't lose any pieces. We're good, we're good. Let's get out our paint pen real quick. So, the mustache. My husband got me a new chair and it sits up quite a bit higher than my older chair. Let me see, is that silver? Oh, that is silver. We're not using that. We are going to, what is it? Where is it? I don't know. Oh well, all right. I'm gonna do, with my paint pen, I'm just gonna use black. And I'm gonna color in his little eyes. And I'm just using a fine tip black acrylic paint pen. And I am going to add in a little white dot. And then his eyebrows. I don't know. I may just have to use a bitty paintbrush. All right. I have this little itty bitty paintbrush, and I'm probably making this a lot more complicated than I need to. And I'm not going to go in with the gray. I'm just going to go in with the white. can quickly paint them in. I always forget I have this little itty bitty paintbrush, and it works wonders. It gets in all them little tight spots, and it only takes just a tiny, tiny little bit of paint. So you don't really overdo it. You can't overdo it. I'm sorry if y'all can hear my dogs in there. They're kind of going crazy. I apologize. It's the weather. My poor tank. Okay. We got his little face on. Now, while I have this out, I'm going to take this darker gray, and this is truffle, and so on the tip of this brush, you're not going to be able to see it. It has seriously like 2 little hairs, little bitty hairs. Like seriously 2 of them. And I'm just gonna use those little bitty hairs and make some hair-like strokes down his beard, just kind of here and there. Just to add just a little color to his beard. Just here and there. And then any of them that I got a little dark. See, we just did a few and you really can't even see them on camera. Maybe once we get it all together and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But they're just really, really fine little hairs or little strokes. And I'm doing the same on the mustache. And I don't even know if they're going to show up or not on camera. Can you see them? Probably not. Okay. Let's get this guy together. I don't know where that little accent came from. I'm holding out on my voice. Let me clean this brush. This is one of my fancy brushes, so I call it. You know, the ones you pay more than $10 for. All right. I just need to sand these gloves. And I think we've got everything sanded and done. We'll get it together and I'll wax her up and y'all can get on with your weekend. You don't see my what? The nose. Oh, the nose. I've got it. It may have fallen on the floor. We had it. We had the nose, y'all. The good news is there's no dogs in here, and I know I painted that nose. I know we painted that nose. Okay. It's here, and it's close. We're not gonna, it seems like I lose a dang piece every single every single time. I already found it. I found it. Found the nose. We're good. We're good. All right. Let's start gluing this together before I lose anything else. Because I lose something every time. Every time. Okay. I'm going to start with gluing his face. Let's glue his nose on first. And you can use, I don't like to use hot glue on these, for one, because hot glue never holds well for me, especially if, not on wood, personally, on wood. I don't know if it's the hot glue I use, but I don't care to use hot glue on wood. That's my own personal opinion. I prefer to use this Tight Bond or Stick Fast or something like that. But everybody has their own personal likes, but hot glue to me, especially on wood kits, I don't care for it myself. But some people have good success with it. Not me. And it's not the kit, it's the glue. All right. And where this goes is all etched out on here. So you can see where to put it. Just perfect. And what I like to use the Tight Bond because it's a wood glue. But I like to use it because it's more than just a wood glue, but it works really, really well with wood. And it dries pretty fast, but you still have some work time. So we'll be able to get this full kit together and move things around if we need to. But the less you put on, the least amount of glue you put on, the faster it dries. Let's get his little mustache. Now, I don't cake the glue on. This glue dries clear, but I don't cake it on. I just put just a little bit on, and it works so well. Now, that's where this little tool, this is almost, for me, this little tool right here, it's got a sharp end on this side, it's a metal, and then, you know, like a flat edge on this side. When I'm doing wood kits, this little tool comes in so handy. So very handy. So your little etched out grooves on things, you can use it to make little hair marks in your beard and your mustache, because it'll dig that paint out. It's just really cool, but it fits perfectly in those little etching lines if you get paint in them. Okay. All right. Next. These go this way. When I spilt everything, I had things backwards. Dang it. But, you know, it wouldn't be a live of mine if I wasn't dropping something, losing something, forgetting something. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. So much. Okay, let's put on. See, I moved my little beard there. But I can fix it so easy because my glue will still move. Okay. Now my stick fast, I really do like my stick fast if I'm wanting to do just that, stick something fast. Because once it's on there, it's on there. And it, you know, it has its purpose. I used to use it all the time, but just don't use it as much anymore. Okay. I'm so glad I went with the beige and the, what color was it? Yeah, Italian Ivory and then the Cozy Beige. I want to mix those together to get this beautiful color. I mean, they're beautiful colors on their own, but it gave me that perfect happy medium that I wanted. I know this part's boring, but y'all want to definitely wait to see this all put together. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I had that one on the right side. Well, I hope y'all get to have a relaxing weekend. You don't have lots of trunk or treats or, you know, things like that. Because it's almost time for Christmas decorating. I usually wait until either like the week before Thanksgiving to decorate for Christmas or after. But something's gotten into me this year. I love Christmas period, but something has gotten into me this year and I'm ready to decorate like last month. I really seriously wanted to skip fall and go straight to Christmas. I'm not even kidding. I don't know what is wrong. And I've been buying Christmas stuff since Hobby Lobby started putting their Christmas stuff out in June. But I've heard several people tell me they feel the same way. They're ready just to skip right to Christmas. So I know it's not just me. I know it's not just me, but y'all, is anyone else? Is anyone else ready just to start decorating for Christmas already? You are too, Miss Christina. Miss Carol, you are? Good. I'm glad it's not just me. So I told my husband this year, Christmas is coming out the first week of November. It is coming out. So in like, what, a week and a half? But Christmas is like a whole it's a lot. We have a lot of decorations, and it takes me a while to get it all out and get it put just where I want it to and where I want it to be and blah, blah, blah. So I have a village, and that takes me a while, and 3 big trees, and then little trees. The little trees, I only decorate a couple of them, but anyway. Okay. Now, on his little staff, his little cane, whatever you want to call it, it fits perfectly around the little glove. And I always like to put my stuff together, even though I already know it fits. I like to put it together before I glue it, just so I can see it and visualize it and then glue it. Where do I want this hand to go? Maybe right there. And then we're almost there, and then I'll let y'all go. Enjoy your weekend. I have these little bitty rusty bells. Let me squish the end of that in, so it'll sit on there, right? But I was thinking of maybe putting them, like a couple of them, down the front of his jacket. What y'all think? Yay or nay? Yes or no on the bells. And then I think I am going to put a little bit of greenery right here on his hat. Let me get, or I do have, oh, I know what we're doing. I think I do like those bells. And I do have some little bitty rusty stars. And I think I might put one of these rusty stars up here with some greenery behind it. Okay, let me get this glued on. Why is that glue coming out so dang fast? All right, I just need to know about the bells, and if you think we need some greenery in his hat. Come on, stick. It's the texture. Takes a minute for the glue to set to it. I may have to get some stick fast out for the texture part, just because I'm going to be moving this around. Okay. Now it fits perfect, right like so. Now doing the sand texture, I am just going to warn you ahead of time that the glue doesn't always like to stick to the sand. Sometimes you have to just put a little pressure and leave it alone for a minute. Okay. I'm just going to leave this cane alone for just a second. I just need to get it all straight. Let's see what y'all said. Yes to the bells. Yes to the bells. The bells, star, and greenery. Okay. Let's do it. And like I said, it may end up being some stick fast for this texture part. We'll see. I thought that these bells would be really cute. Man, that glue isn't coming out, then all of a sudden it just comes out so dang fast. Okay, greenery. Which greenery do I want to use? I have this stuff, and it's got just a little bit of sparkle and some red in it. I think we'll use just a couple little pieces of this. I got this at Michael's. And I just want a couple pieces that have some red in it. Maybe, I don't know. Let me see here. Get this plugged in real quick. Now, one thing you can do, and I know y'all have heard this quite a bit, is if you need something to stick like right now, but you also need that permanent stick. Maybe these aren't gonna work. You can use a little hot glue with your permanent glue. Those might be too big. What if we just go with some regular greenery, no sparkle. Just pull off some of these little cedar. This is that Real Touch cedar stuff. And I like to buy, here's a little tip, I like to buy the either garlands or the wreaths and pull the stuff off of them. It ends up being so much cheaper than buying a pick. I'm not even kidding. I do that all the time. I don't know that I love that either. Maybe I just need to not try to stick it behind the hat, stick it on the hat with the little star. I'm struggling with this greenery part. I've got a bunch of greenery, I just don't know. way too light. That doesn't go. But I've got darker. Use these smaller ones. You guys telling me what to do? Please do. Please tell me what you think. Should we forget the greenery? I don't know. I'm just not loving. What about just that one right there? It's been here the whole time. I think that might be it. Just a little bitty piece of greenery. I'm trying to way overcomplicate it. Alright, y'all, we're just about there. Let me see if this glue tool is ready. And I'm going to add just a little bit of glue with a little bit of some hot glue. I didn't even have it plugged in because I wasn't planning on using any. But then, of course, I decided to use some greenery that I want it to stick right now. Alright, let me get my little star. And then, of course, I drop it. Y'all, I'm such butterfingers. Where's my stars? Right there. Looks like I will be crawling around on my hands and knees tonight, after I'm done with this live, picking up every dang thing I've dropped. No, to be honest, I'm probably going to go put the dogs out if they'll go, and go watch The Gilded Age, because that's what I'm gonna do. You know, the period dramas, like, I love them so much. And yes, Jamie, I did, oh, we forgot a glove. I did watch the last movie of Downton Abbey. I did watch the finale one, and I was a little disappointed. I was a little bit disappointed. It wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, those period dramas are my thing. I swear I was like meant to have been born back in that day and age. I seriously do. I'm going to put just a dab of hot glue to see if it'll hold that on for now, while that glue is binding itself to that texture. So, y'all, what do you think? Are we loving that greenery on it, or is that too much? Be honest. What do you think? I think he turned out pretty cute. I do think he needs a couple little white dots in his eyes. And I think I'm going to do that with this little daughter. But tell me what you think about the greenery. Come on. Does it need something else with it? What are you thinking about the whole thing? You're not gonna hurt my feelings, I promise. What y'all think? Perfect amount of greenery. I love it. He is awesome. You love Santa's. Gorgeous. Love the greenery. Love it. Well, you can watch it on Amazon. I watched the finale one on Amazon. On Amazon. That's where I watched it, Miss Jamie. Oh, I will. I always close my door. When I'm not in here, my craft room door gets closed, for sure. Thank you, though. Oh, really? I will definitely be looking for that one, Jamie. You haven't, well, I loved watching Downton Abbey, but the finale, I don't know. Maybe it was just the mood I was in because I wasn't feeling well. But the only thing I have to do is wax this up. And I'm not going to let y'all suffer through that. I'm just going to wax my edges and it'll be done. But I will be posting a picture, so keep a lookout for that. But y'all, thanks for hanging out with me and putting up with me. Well, my face is all red and puffy and I'm even more scatterbrained than usual. But I think he turned out stinking adorable. I love him. He is pretty precious. So click on that link and go get yours and make yours. Yeah, it was already on Amazon. That's where I watched it, unless I was mistaken, but it was said the finale, so that's what I watched. All right, y'all, my face is getting redder. It's time for me to go fight with these pups and get them outside. But I am so grateful to each and every one of you for hanging out with me on your Saturday evening. And thank you so much, Miss Christina, for all the love and support, and to each and every one of you for all the love and support. Go click that link and get your Old World Santa. And go get you some mulberry paint. Look how beautiful it is. I mean, that's seriously the perfect Santa red right there. All right, y'all. Go enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great, safe, wonderful weekend. And I will see y'all again very, very soon. Thanks for being here. Bye, guys. Have a good night.